All right, hey Patriots, how you doing today? It's October 4th, National Emergency Broadcast System Day. And somehow or another, I'm in like landscape mode here. I don't know why everything's going this way. Hey, Ducks and Grandma. Hi, Hilda Bechtel. How are you? We've got some nice weather here. So here we are, October 4th, J6 News updates and chat. And let's wake up Congress. Finally got something to move there in Congress there with Matt Gaetz getting the Speaker, the do-nothing Speaker of the House out of there. Well, that felt good. I was waiting for that to happen. Can't believe it took 9 months for that to happen. And we'll just go over the Freedom Corner, what happened at Freedom Corner yesterday, and hit a couple news topics, and just chat with all you. Thanks, Deb Vi. There you are. Thank you. Put that up there today. So how's everybody doing? Did everybody survive the emergency broadcast system check? I don't know what they're going to do now, Hilda. We'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, I think a couple of phone calls might be in order for everybody. Yeah, I don't know why they're not coming back till Tuesday. Remember McCarthy did that last weekend or the weekend before. They just declare themselves 4-day weekends, man. Hey, Jay Jones. Yeah, I wrapped my phone up, too. I didn't want it on, but then I watched a couple other people's phones go off and their brains didn't explode. They didn't turn into zombies. So I thought everything was okay at that point and unwrapped my phone. There is a way to wrap your phone up to make it non-detectable. You can't just put it in a refrigerator or a microwave oven or something. It can still receive calls inside there. You got to keep experimenting with things on your phone to see what you got to do to your phone, and then use another phone to call it, and then you'll know if it's successful or not. But there is a way to do that with tinfoil, to wrap your phone up a certain way, and it will not receive calls. And therefore, if it can't receive calls, I don't think it's pinging on the cell towers around here or anything. I don't think they can locate you all. So it's good to have you all here. Let's get over here on Freedom Corner and review last night in case you missed it. Dwight prayed. Nicole had a little speech about how we need some brave officials in our government. Hi, Sylvia. Good to see you. I saw you in a chat earlier today. Oh, Freedom Jeffrey with his tinfoil hat on. Did you guys see that? That was funny, man. How you doing, Stu? Hey, Third. Yeah, I just saw Jeffrey's video with the tinfoil hat, man. That was hilarious. It's good to see Jeff out there working, man. That guy does a great job with getting on location around the New York area and showing us what's going on there. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That's the only video I saw him do today, though. I think he did another one. And then he said he's going to New York tomorrow, I think, in that video. So I'll be waiting to see what he's doing tomorrow. So Nicole mentioned that we got to have brave officials. And Matt Gaetz showed his bravery. That guy stood alone in that whole hall of Congress yesterday. And brought a motion up to vacate the chair. They tried to table it. I learned a lot about how they operate yesterday, but it took a couple hours of watching that thing. It was like, I don't know, man. It's drudgery. I can't imagine anybody wants to be in Congress. I mean, look at what they got to go through in there, but they got decorum, and they got procedures, and they got dress codes, and they got a lot of rules. And I think it's something that I know I want to bring up my grandkids to be more familiar with. And I think a lot of that has to do with like getting involved with, student council in school. And there's all kinds of stuff that I blew off in high school and middle school that would have prepared me more for being in the community effectively, how to stand up in your community and become a functioning member so that we can keep this from happening again. Hey, what's up, Mags? How are you, man? So I'm all with you, Nicole. We need strong leadership right now. And I think right now we should probably be calling Matt Gaetz and congratulating him and thanking him, along with the 7 others, Republicans, that stood up to the do-nothing House Speaker yesterday. I know that with the afterward interviews, Matt Gaetz just rose above it, man. McCarthy got into like little snippy comments about personal comments, and he said, oh, it's a personal attack. McCarthy, didn't you see the 1 million phone calls we gave you about releasing the J6 tapes? For crying out loud, man. When are you going to start listening? Well, I guess you don't have to listen now because you don't have the chair. So good riddance, bud. So the other officials that voted with Matt Gaetz yesterday and saved the day was Andy Biggs from Arizona, Bob Good from Virginia, Matthew Rosendale from Montana, Eli Crane from Arizona, Dan Buck from Colorado, Dan Burkett from Tennessee, and Nancy Mace from South Carolina. Way to show leadership there, Patriots. We'll see what they do, man. If I don't want to give away any plans, but we've been talking about Trump in the House Speaker position ever since they rigged the election and stole it from him and installed Joe Biden in the White House, man. That's always been a plan. I would encourage that, yeah. But man, look at our Republican Party, man. They just are delusional. They don't understand what MAGA is with the Republican Party. I mean, the Republican Party is in denial that MAGA is the Republican Party right now. So we'll just have to see where they go with it. And I think some phone calls would be in order. Those 8 Patriot congressmen that stood up, and women that stood up and saved us from the clutches of McCarthy's do-nothing policies. And so I don't know. Maybe it is part of a big plan. Maybe McCarthy was a placeholder or something like that. So I do know that it is October, and maybe it's Red October finally. But we're always hearing about the red tsunami that happened. It's just nonstop foolishness from the Republican Party. So getting involved locally with your Republican Party would be an effective way to fight this off now, too. All right, then let's see. Chris Quaglin called in yesterday. Apparently he hurt his knee. They finally took him up to get it looked at, and the doctor who looked at it said, yeah, you need to have this looked at. This is a serious torn ligament injury, and it needs attention, but we can't do that where you're at right now. And they brought him back to the jail, and he's not getting any attention on that knee. So I guess he's up to rehabilitated himself probably, and hopefully he will get some attention on it. But this is their method of operation in that jail. Just deny any medical attention that anybody needs there. Bart Shively went through it. Who's the guy with the broken hand? I mean, they just do not give you medical attention in that gulag, man, or many other prisons for that matter. The doctors that graduate at the bottom of the class got to get a job somewhere. So I guess they go to the jails to get jobs. Chris Quaglin also brought up the 1,000 days. Yesterday was 1,000 days. We're at day 1,001 right now of no action from our party. They lost the election. They had the election ripped off from them, and they haven't had a backbone since. Chris Quaglin is like, hey, man, if you get a job and you don't do the work in the job, you get fired. No brainer, man. No brainer. Chris Quaglin also, he's preparing for his court cases. I saw some footage today of Chris Quaglin at the Capitol on January 6th. And, a lot of his melee started when somebody else pushed him into a cop who then unloaded on Chris and had a little scuffle there. But somebody else pushed him into a cop. And that guy who pushed him was an Antifa guy. I mean, the guy that pushed him got arrested. He admitted to being Antifa. So I hope Chris Quaglin can be prepared for his court case, but it's not looking like it because he hasn't had a laptop or access to a laptop for 4 months now. And he's been complaining about it, and nothing ever gets done. No laptop for you, Chris Quaglin, because you're a Trump supporter, and everybody in that jail and everybody that's running that jail hates Trump supporters. Everybody on the D.C. jury pool hates. It's unbelievable the hatred that people have for anything Trump, anybody who supports Trump in D.C. there. Unbelievable. They have effectively brainwashed everybody inside that beltway around D.C. to just have total lunatic Trump derangement syndrome. It is impossible to get a fair trial if you're a Trump supporter in D.C. And it's time our Congress people take a look at this, man. Congress can change it overnight. Chris Quaglin has also been being denied access to his lawyer due to the new COVID restrictions there. Here out in the real world, there's no COVID. They're telling us that it's coming back. We got the vaccine all ready to go already. But in the gulag, it's up and running already, folks. Back to the old play of having some disease where you got to limit everybody's access to everything. You can be a tyrant if there is a strain of sickness going on, apparently. So hopefully things pan out for Chris Quaglin. I don't know when his court date is scheduled, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Mickey got up and talked for a while after the Chris's phone call, and the news had just come out that Troy Nehls nominated Trump for Speaker of the House. He was the first guy, I think, that put out any type of a social media post that said maybe we should get Trump in office in the House Speaker's position. So you don't have to be an elected official. Anybody could be it. Other people have brought up Tucker Carlson. I doubt Tucker would want to get into that. He does have a disdain for government. So I doubt he would want to do it. But there is a lot of other people there. I was thinking Newt Gingrich, but then I saw Newt Gingrich ripping on Matt Gaetz today. So, man, this is flushing out the rhinos. Pay attention, maybe even take notes, so we know exactly who's on the team and who isn't when we bring this as we approach this new election in 2024. Seems like a long time to wait, but we'll have to see. Let's start paying attention to who's on the team and who isn't, man. And this whole ordeal is flushing out the rhinos. We got rhinos to take care of. We got demon rats to take care of. Mickey also talked about the 1,000 days. She talked about the tainted jury pool in D.C. and the fact that Congress needs to see what's going on in this courthouse, man, in D.C. Yeah, the whole GOP is against Trump. That's for sure, silly. And I don't get it. He won them the presidency, okay? And they just... All my life, the GOP has been a do-nothing let's have a committee. And they haven't even subpoenaed Biden or Hunter, yet. I mean, how ridiculous does it got to be? All right, how about you, Mags? Are you game? I don't know if they give you a rule book or something. I don't even think any one of us could just jump into that job. It's almost like you need some kind of a counselor. There must be congressional attorneys or something to tell you all the stuff you got to know. So yesterday, the hot topic was the 1,000 days and the Matt Gaetz getting McCarthy out of the seat there. So Matt DeSilva called in, and that's what they talked about during the Matt DeSilva phone call also. He talked about, he lived in Japan for a while. He had some things to say about that. Matt DeSilva did. Matt DeSilva was a naval intelligence officer. He is a smart guy, man. And then like 2 weeks ago, D.C. was saying how safe they are and that, they're not having the same problems that other cities are having. And then out of nowhere, Congressman gets carjacked. So we know they're lying about this stuff. We just know it. Yeah, reusing the same jury over and over. Is that corruption? Maybe Congress should start paying attention to what's going on. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much patriots do or try to do. Some people don't appreciate anything. All right, it's easy to be a naysayer. It's easy to just criticize everything. But if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So I think that's a great saying, That's one my mom used to tell me all the time. Matt DeSilva was talking about how safe it was, and the guy got carjacked, the congressman got carjacked. So now they're like beefing up security when 2 weeks ago they were saying how safe it was in D.C. So how many times are we going to let the D.C. Capitol Police fail at their job? Why do we need to see that videotape? Because we got to see where the failure occurred. And they're hiding the evidence that shows their failure. Capitol Police failed to defend the Capitol on J6. I don't know what happened. Was it Trump people? Was it the Azov military battalion? Was it undercover FBI? We don't know because we don't have those tapes. And that's why we've been screaming for them tapes for 2 years, 2.5 years now. And we're tired of getting ignored, man. All the evidence we need is in those tapes. Whether you agree with me or not, withholding those tapes, I think is criminal. We the people run this country. We the people vote the people in when we have good elections. How are we supposed to make a good decision with our votes if we don't have access to the information on what the security failure was at the Capitol on J6? How are we supposed to make an educated vote if all this stuff is secret? There's a lot of secret stuff that happens, man. A lot of congressmen and women have been accused of crimes. A lot of like degenerate underage stuff, groping and things. And then there's a fund that actually pays off people to shut up on these cases, but then they seal those. They sealed up the investigation into Kennedy. They sealed up the investigation into 9/11. I mean, we don't know anything because they seal up all the information. So this age of secrecy has got to end. And I know Trump was all over that, man. And then yesterday, the Freedom Corner Patriots had kind of a fund drive. They had 2 donors that were going to match contributions to the forashley.com, which is the support webpage for Freedom Corner. That's where all the expenses that we have or they have running Freedom Corner come from. So throughout the night, Mickey was coming on and telling everybody how much she appreciated everybody that donated to that fund. Their funds, every donation was tripled because of the matching donation that a lot of the other people had committed to. Oh, Sylvia, that's hilarious. And I think Mickey did say that commitment to match donations is continuing for the next week here. So if you care to make a contribution to Freedom Corner, right now is the time to do it. If you donate $10, it turns into a $30 donation due to patriots that are matching all donations that are given to them. And that would be on forashley.com, where you can find out where to send those donations. Our buddy Daniel from Brazil came out last night, and he spoke a little bit. And for everybody that doesn't know, the same exact thing that happened in America on January 6th happened in Brazil 2 years ago on January 8th. They call it J8 in Brazil. Same thing. A good leader, a good patriot for Brazil was ousted from office. They actually tried to murder him, but he survived. And yeah, Daniel did have a really cool flag. And you have to go to the video to see it. I watched the video last night on Freedom Express Media. So I was hanging out in their chat all night. It was great, man. They got a great crew hanging out in there. They got awesome mods in there. There was no riffraff, trolls just spouting their insanity. And they kept a real good lid on things there on Freedom Express Media and David's channel. Good job, man. So Daniel had a couple words to say about Brazil and the similarities between Brazil and our J6 issues here. And then Helena read something that was written by Marie Goodwin, who is one of the founding members of the Patriot Mail Project. And this was taken off of J6 Patriot News, and it was an essay about the 1,000 days. And it was emotional, man. I mean, Helena really had a hard time getting through it. But here we are, 1,000 days later, man. We are just surrounded. Our country has gone down the tubes in 1,000 days, man. Well, it hasn't been 1,000 days yet because Joe Biden wasn't installed until the 20th of January, 2021. So it'll be 1,000 days of Joe Biden here real soon. And it is staggering the amount of damage that this imposter has done to this country so far. We got this open border thing. He has neutered our border patrol. I don't know who in their right mind can look themselves in the mirror and be a border patrol agent at this time when all they're doing is filling out clipboards, loading buses, and literally, we just saw this on Oreo or First Responders video the other day, cutting the barbed wire and letting the people in. We got border patrol agents cutting razor wire so people can come into the country. It's staggering how Joe Biden has shut down our oil industry. We were energy independent, America. Do you understand what that means? Energy independent means we weren't importing any oil into this country. All my life, they've been telling us that was impossible. We now have the technology that we were actually getting oil out of American soil, energizing our country, and still had fuel left over to export from this country. Energy independence. Joe Biden just wiped it out. We got the war in Ukraine. We got the Afghanistan withdrawal where he lost $85 billion worth of equipment in Afghanistan. 13 Marines died in Afghanistan. Countless other friends in Afghanistan that were helping us out in Afghanistan were just left behind, man. And Why has not our representative stood up every single one of them times? Every single one of them times, man. He is, our Republicans have been silent on this. And then what else? It's just endless, man. The war in Ukraine. It has been a long, there it is. Thank you, Sylvia. J6 Patriot News. This is the essay that Helena read last night at Freedom Corner. And it makes you think. It makes you think. It is amazing how peace-loving we are, patriots. Because if this was any other group of people, there would have been mayhem. There would have been civil war. There would have been fighting back. But we believe in the Constitution. We believe in our country. We have morals. We believe in God, that He is leading us and that He can change things. Yeah. Yeah, here you go, Annette. $150 billion to Ukraine. It's more than that, Annette. It's way more than that. And they have the gall to ask for more, while the residents in Lahaina receive $700 per household. That's absolutely despicable. That is absolutely despicable. No, they're not standing up, Meadows Joy. And the reason they're not is because they are fake. Our elections are rigged. These people are not elected by us. If we had one good election, we're going to find out that 68% of the country is red. We got to stop these fraud elections. I grew up in Chicago, man. This stuff was happening in the 60s in Chicago. You got out of tickets on the highway in Chicago. But it was the land of Lincoln. And back then, all you had to do was hold a $5 bill out the window. The cop would take the $5 bill and say, "Thank you, have a good day." That was back when a speeding ticket was, $5. They were all crooked. They're all crooked. And pretty much that's what we're stuck with now in any government position, because they got rid of all the good ones. So we're giving Ukraine it averages out. All the money that Joe Biden and our representatives have given Ukraine so far equals $223 million per day since February of 22. That's when the whole Ukraine thing started. So yeah, it's despicable. It's disgusting. The elections are rigged. How do we get ourselves out of this? We got to get activated. We got to get in charge. And a lot of people, they have made it so disgusting that most people have just turned it off and detached from it. They'll go play golf. They'll go to the gym. They'll go to, they'll go to endless soccer games, watching their kids play soccer instead of standing up and doing something about that. Yeah, has anyone gone to Palestine, Ohio yet? Remember that? That was a great response by Joe. Unbelievable, man. Okay, after Helena read Marie Goodwin's essay, Jeff Sable called, and he wants Trump as Speaker of the House. And this all sounds like a great idea. I have no idea how Trump could even fathom doing this at this time because of the amount of persecution that Joe Biden's weaponized DOJ has unleashed on Trump. But if anyone can do it, Trump can. And I think if he got in as Speaker of the House, he could end this bullshit that's going on in the D.C. court system right now and get change of venue for all these patriots. Just send them out to wherever they are and let them have trials where they live, where a jury of their peers, not a jury of Trump derangement syndrome patients, will find them guilty or innocent and look at the evidence. And I'm just sick of this railroading going on in the D.C. courts, and none of our elected officials paying any attention to it. Jeff Sable heard that they tested the emergency broadcast system in Hawaii on October 2nd, the day before this whole nationwide test thing was good. And one of the messages was, stock up 14 days of food. So I don't know, whatever that means. Nothing happened here. I do notice that there is not one cloud or chemtrail in the sky here today, all day long. It's a beautiful God sky. Oh yeah. This was good news too here. Pelosi apparently has been still in her office that she had when she was Speaker of the House. And the new guy, the new guy. All right, so there is a new Speaker of the House. He wasn't elected, but he was. I'm good to be here. All right. Well, wait a second here. I'm getting ahead of myself. Stock. All right, so the stock up on 14 days of food notice came out in Hawaii there. We'll get to this here real quick here, Lamont. And then Shane Jenkins got on, and he was talking about the 1,000 days also. I mean, we're all just reeling from this 1,000 days of nothing, no action from our. Oh, really? You were on what? Florida is covered in Canadian wildfire smoke. Okay, I didn't hear about that, and that's odd. Okay, and then Shane Jenkins got on, and then the real conversation started after the end of the night. Sometimes at the end of Freedom Corner, they sing the God Bless the USA song. They do the national anthem, God Bless the USA. And then sometimes some talk just gets started. And it was really good between Nicole and Mickey and Tammy. We're up there just with excellent things to say about our country there. It was, I really wanted to timestamp it, but I couldn't get to that. So really the best part of last night's Freedom Corner was right at the end where Mickey, when they start cleaning up the flags, and putting all the equipment away, they, all right, I hope some hearings happen, man, yeah. They just started going off, and then that's when Nicole named every single Republican that voted to get McCarthy out of the seat, and all kinds of other stuff. Prison is a cesspool. And then there was a cryptic message from Jeff Sable in there too about the door the prisoners use to go into the courthouse is trashed. So I don't know what that meant, man, and I hope somebody checked out that door today, because something's up with that message, man. That was a weird message. And yeah, Jeff Sable was saying that on 10/2, on October 2nd, the emergency broadcast system went off 4 times in Hawaii. So I haven't gotten a chance to call my buddy in Maui yet to find out what was up with that. But there was other problems with the Hawaiian emergency broadcast system when Trump was in his presidency. There was like a false nuke attack message went out over the emergency broadcast system in Hawaii. I'm thinking 5 years ago. It was bizarre. Okay, so now in the House, we have a pro tem Speaker of the House. His name is North Carolina Representative Patrick McHenry. Now, all this is just bizarre. He is now the pro tem, which means temporary Speaker of the House. He's a 47-year-old North Carolina representative. McCarthy chose him back when McCarthy got elected to the position after 15 votes, when he finally won it. And McCarthy, I guess, I don't know if he's supposed to do this or not, but he's supposed to pick a person who, in the event that he drops over dead or whatever, they will have an automatic guy that they put into that position. Well, Representative Patrick McHenry of North Carolina was that guy. But nobody knew that until yesterday. So that was secret information. Once again, our representatives keeping secrets from us. Patrick McHenry was the chair of the House Financial Services Committee. He was elected in 2005 to the 10th District in North Carolina. Previously, he was the House Republicans' chief deputy whip, whatever that means. They got secret. I don't know what that means. He's a whip, you know. I know what I mean when I say whip, but I have no idea what they're talking about. And previously, he was the director of George W. Bush's presidential campaign. So he's connected there. I'm sure this guy stands for We the People, huh? Previously, Patrick McHenry was instrumental in the debt ceiling negotiations. And previously, Patrick McHenry was opposed to increasing banking oversight measures. So here we got a guy who was sitting on the House Financial Services Committee, and he was opposed to increasing banking oversight measures. Remember what the banks did to us in 2008? I don't get it. I don't get it. They all but crashed the whole system. And here we got the best message of the day right there. Come to Jesus and be saved, trolls. Come to Jesus and be saved. It's the only way out. It's the only way that this whole country hasn't exploded yet at this point. And then Pelosi was told to vacate her office. So whatever the deal is here with Patrick McHenry, his first move was to get Pelosi out of that office. All right. That's so far so good there, Patrick. So far so good. All right. So now I'll be able to read some of the comments here. But in general, we're still fighting along here. We're still peaceful patriots. We're not going to start a war. We don't want our kids getting in any kind of war here. We don't want dead people. We don't want blood in the streets. Everybody else does, but we don't. All right, so we're going to do this without that. We're going to show them how it's done. We're going to prove that Jesus saves. We're going to prove that God is love, that God is merciful, that God upholds us to endure all this stuff, man. All right, we got a crew here today. Way to go, Patriots. Way to go. We got a lot to do, and this broadcast is just another one of the times when we can all get together and just figure out what's going on today. David, I think, was putting together a weekly update now. We got Freedom Jeffrey out there. Yeah. Oh, he was. Okay, so that was this debt ceiling. So McHenry was also one of the authors of McCarthy's debt ceiling deal and the deal over the weekend, which was another shady deal, man. Like, what's going on with these guys? Which failed miserably because none of the Democrats voted to keep McCarthy in office. So I don't know what's going on with this, man. The Democrats voted in a block with 8 of our Republicans to get rid of McCarthy. So every single Democrat voted to get rid of McCarthy, and all it took was 8 Republicans. So here we go. Hit the like, hit the share, and then hit the bell so you can get notifications when we go live. Because I'm random. I'm sorry. I can't just get everything to happen at the same time every day. A lot of times finding a location is a hard thing to do just to make a broadcast. I can't stand driver's seat videos. You know, I don't want to fall into that rut of doing a driver's seat video every time. I think we need some scenery while we're doing these things. So right now, this is a driveway chat. not curbside. We don't have curbs here, but this is a driveway chat. So maybe some strategy is happening there, ACB. I just feel like McCarthy getting out of that seat was something cutting loose, man. Something cutting loose here. I'm not sure what to think of Patrick McHenry yet. I don't know what all the McConnell, McCarthy, McHenry. What is it with the is it like McDonald's in there or what, you know? It's like the McGovernment in Congress right now. Oh yeah. I'm originally from Chicago. I was born in Cook County. Lived downtown Chicago till I was like till kindergarten, and we moved out to the third layer of suburbs outside of Chicago. I mean, you can start in Chicago and keep driving, and you go through, I don't know how many layers of suburbs, man, when you get out there. McDonald. All right, so that's it for the news. That's all we got in the Freedom Corner. Freedom Corner still another night in a row on Freedom Corner. Let's try to give some support their way to make sure that they can keep going. That generator was kind of sputtering yesterday. I hope somebody's going to check the oil. And I keep putting that in the chat there. Check the oil. So I hope they don't blow up another generator out there. The guys from New York really helped out when they did that. So anyways, let's get some food in our belly, Patriots. It's good to see you. I'll see you in the chats on Freedom Corner. And this is Jericho in landscape mode. Over and out.